Hey guys, my name's Alec. Thank you so much for being here. I'm thrilled to have you. We got some great things coming tonight. We're going to be making a wall sconce. I've started on a little bit of it and I'm really excited to take you through this journey. I want to thank you for being here. Let's get cracking. Got the propane forge hot. By the way guys, I want to let you all know the comment section on both Facebook and YouTube is for you to comment and tell me hello. I don't want you to be lurking. I want you guys to say hello, tell me you're here, tell me where you're from, and even better, it's here for you to ask me your questions and let me know if there's anything I can help you. So, I'm going to be making this sconce with a couple of different sizes of steel at a 1/2 inch square bar and out of, I think it's about 1 3/4 wide by 6 millimeters, so 1 3/4 by 45 mil by 6 mil, flat stock. You can see right here, we forged a little piece here, and the reason that I forged that now is because with the hand hammer it's difficult to get into those shoulders without a guillotine tool, so I just ran ahead over to the power hammer a little earlier and forged that down. Sam, how are we looking? Are we live on Facebook? We've got people on Facebook. Thank you, Facebook. It is great, great, great to be here. Are we live on YouTube? Anybody on YouTube? Still crackling audio. On Facebook, how are you guys liking the audio? Is it still crackling a little bit? Right, guys. Facebook, how do you like the audio? Oh, I don't want to start till everybody's good. Okay, this is episode 2. Today is July the 9th. Episode 1 went great. Had a few little technical issues that I hope we've sorted. And I'm very excited to be here again. This is going to hopefully be a regular thing that I do each week, each Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm excited for this to be working. We got people on Facebook. How are they liking it? Just an electronic buzz. Slight crackle on the sound. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Should we switch over to channel B? Okay, guys. Let's see if this will work any better. How's that now? You guys can hear that? Any better? Come on, Facebook, let me know. I don't want to get started until you guys are ready. Sorry? Okay, Facebook, we're almost getting started. Okay, almost there, guys. Hang in there. How are we looking, guys? How's the audio? Oh no. So sorry, guys. What's up, Sam? Live? Huh. Well, guys, I'm really sorry about the audio. I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to switch over to another mic. We'll be there in just a sec. We're going to switch over to another mic. The audio is going to be a little, not be as high a quality as we had last week, but I think you guys are going to like it. I'll be right back. Let me switch mics. Okay guys, how are we doing now? Can you hear me now, Sam?
There's a lot of background.
A lot of background. Well guys, I'm sorry we've got so much background noise. We're having a little audio issue here. But okay guys, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Any better? Okay guys, I've been told I need to speak up. That's right, I like shouting. I don't really like shouting. I'll speak up, hey Sam. Now that I think that you guys are getting audio, I appreciate we've got the background noise and the mic that I have on my shoulder generally works pretty well to cut that out. I apologize, but here, in our tests, that mic went well. Fresh batteries. Here in the fresh of the moment, it's how it is. It's live, it's impromptu. If there are issues, we just got to deal with them and roll with them. And I'm very pleased that you guys are on Facebook. If you guys are on Facebook, I want you to be commenting your questions. Same on YouTube. We're going to kind of hop in there and answer those questions shortly. So that's the second time I've dropped my tongs. Somebody please keep a tally. I would sincerely appreciate that. I'm going to go ahead and get cracking. I've got a piece of 1/2 inch square in the forge. And I've spent so much time talking that it's probably oxidized to absolutely nothing. Okay guys. So I've made myself some Sharpie marks here to work out roughly where I want to be. So I'm going to go ahead and hold my piece at an angle, give myself a little mark to work to. Then I want to take a cube of material. And I'm going to be working half on, half off the far edge of the anvil, bringing that down to about 1/4 of its dimension. Then with the shoulders up, looking for my mark. I'm now going to reduce that on the near side. So this is not a pendant. In this particular case, I want that pendant to be going forwards. So I make sure that I don't reduce the near side too much. This is a really fun technique. It's really wonderful to isolate material with this technique. I certainly enjoy it. I do. Even louder? Okay. I certainly do enjoy moving material with this technique. Do you want to show them a little detail on the next heat that I take, Sam? Zoom in a little bit. Here's the beauty, guys. We have 2 cameras this time, which is very exciting. Okay, there's my first little bit of isolation. Check into the other one, see if we're relatively close. We're relatively close. I'm going to go ahead and take another heat. And I'm going to work on the second little isolation. This is... Hey Sam, can we switch over to the next shot? Let's show them this. There we go, guys. Hey, look at that. That, my friends, is technology at its finest. There is the other piece that I've just made beforehand, just so we can expedite the process a little bit. Let you guys get on your way after this. You can see I've got this isolation on this side, I guess, if I can spot it in the screen. That's the isolation that I've just done. I've just drawn out this material here. Just drawn out that material there. I'm now going to isolate this, draw down this material before coming in, forging the hole, cutting it off the bar, and go ahead and working on the section of steel that is going to be holding the candle itself. We've got a fun little red candle here that's going to be held, and I'm very excited.
Quickly, people are talking about Damascus.
People are talking about Damascus. Okay guys, one day I will do Damascus. If you guys share this video, I'll consider it a little more. Okay. Sam. Take that cube, then measure up how much it is I want. My little mark. Use that as an indicator. I'm starting with the flat side of the hammer, then moving to the round side. Forging half on, half off, that far into the anvil. Lighting the steel up as I go. As I get close to that shoulder, I'm going to go ahead and just start forging on two sides. Go ahead and stop there. I've got a little too small here. Well, it's not the end of the world. A little smaller than I'd want to. I'm going to account for that by thinning this out a little more to make it look a little bit, make it proportionally look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing.
Get the little hammer.
Sorry?
Get the little hammer.
With the little hammer. You might want to zoom in on this. Check this out. You guys are talking about Damascus. Is that right? Here. Zoom in on that camera, I think. Here is the hammer that Sam and I actually forged this all the way back in the winter. This thing is sweet. This is a little driving hammer that he's going to use. Made out of Damascus. This is made out of the end grain of a billet, which I thought was fun. You know, you guys might well have seen that video of my hammer that's made out of Damascus, but the end grain is on the face only. Well, here I wanted that end grain of Damascus on the sides of it. You can see it's a little off center here, but this is certainly quite the beautiful hammer. How do you like it, Sam?
Love it.
He loves it. Hell yeah, that's what I want to hear. How are you guys doing on Facebook? Let's see some of the comments. Hey guys, those that sent your info, I got it. We're all good regarding the t-shirts. If, for a little context, those of you last week who watched the stream, you participated in a little t-shirt giveaway, that's all good. Anybody who won, I've got your information, they're on their way. Now I'm going to keep forging this piece, thin this area out here a little bit. YouTube doing? Good, yeah. Sweet. Are we getting any comments coming through on YouTube? How are you guys doing? Gene on YouTube, thanks so much for your comment. Do I think metal holds its heat longer in a coke or in a gas fire? The metal is going to hold its heat the same way no matter how it's heated. The process of getting it hot isn't going to really affect how well it holds its temperature, provided that heat is soaked all the way through. So whether you have the piece heated up from a coke forge or heated up from a gas forge, they will keep its heat the same way, assuming all other variables are the same. However, different types of fuel can often heat up steel at different speeds. So, you know, coke fire, you can heat up a piece of steel very, very fast. Gas forge is going to tend to heat it up a little slower, but isn't quite as hot. There isn't that kind of, that dense material conducting the heat to the steel. It's kind of more of a radiation process. Now I got this piece, I see that taper there isn't quite how I want it. So I'm going to thin that out some more. that like blacksmithing and want to find out more, please, please, please share it. Share the love. I would appreciate it. Last week, I asked you guys to share it so you could win a t-shirt. This week, I'm asking you guys to share it just for me. On the topic of t-shirts, I have some awesome t-shirts being printed right now as we speak. Well, I assume not quite as we speak, but certainly, you know, during like the working hours they're being printed. Got a cool run of t-shirts, and I will be giving them away also, which is very exciting. I'm sure you guys are gonna love them. They're very fun t-shirts. I'm gonna take another heat up here. It's all bent cattywampus. I gotta straighten it all out at a nice temperature.
What do you treat your forged pieces with?
I what?
What do you treat your finished pieces with?
What do I treat my finished pieces with? Well, it kind of depends. Sometimes I'll leave it as forged and I'll just use it, because that'll often be the case if I'm making a tool for myself. Sometimes I'll give it a wire brush finish and leave it as is, because it doesn't need any protection. That's often the case. However, if I want a little more protection, like for example if I'm selling a hook, right, a hook that's going to go inside somebody's home, it doesn't need like protection about, because being out in the elements all day, in the rain, in all sorts of harsh environments, but it kind of needs enough protection so that the humidity in the air doesn't make it rust. So I might apply a cold linseed oil finish, cold beeswax finish, or I might warm it up in the forge and use a trick that I learned from Ground Brazil, which is you warm it up into the forge, that's about a black heat, then you take an oil saturated rag with vegetable oil and you rub it on, and it almost polymerizes the oil and creates almost like a plastic finish on the surface, which is very, very durable. It makes for a nice finish, and it's great for interior stuff. You know, I've been known to lacquer certain objects in the past, you know, potentially where I haven't had time to let a cold oil finish dry. Actually, that's why, because the lacquer takes longer. I don't know why it is that I would have lacquered it, I can't remember. You know, it's been a little while since I've done kind of like the craft fair scene and stuff like that. So I guess I'm a little rusty on remembering how it is that I protected my stuff when I did that. Over here, I'm just going ahead and, you know, putting it up. I don't want it to be like super perfect. I want to have it look a little bit organic, you know, leave a little bit of movement in there. This is forged after all. And I quite like to have those spots so that you can then buff it up. The trick I learned from Jacob Marr is buffing up the high spots with the Scotch right there. Makes for wonderful, wonderful finishing. Okay, so I can now compare my piece like this. Now you guys will see that I mentioned up here that I reduced this area a little too much, so to make that taper flow, I have to reduce here. So it is a little longer. It's alright. I'm quite happy for there to be a little bit of artistic discrepancy, so to speak. But the rest of it's looking pretty good. So now what I'm going to be able to do, punch these holes, and go ahead and move on to the next step. How are we doing, guys? What are your questions?
Facebook slow, YouTube running swift.
Let's see what you guys... Okay. Trumpet Bandit has asked me on YouTube, what do I recommend for a beginner's anvil? Well, will a mild steel block work is what he asked. Honestly, so long as it's a piece of steel, it's got a little bit of mass to it, you can use it as an anvil. Yeah, that is true. An anvil simply has to be a block of steel, enough to resist the hammer blow, not deform upon the hammer blow, and have enough inertia and be mounted securely enough that it won't move under the hammer blow. And that's all an anvil has to be, really. It's very simple. I've used a little block of steel like that weighed about 20 pounds as an anvil, and I could do everything that I've done here on that anvil perfectly fine. I've also used these striking anvils over here, might be a little bit out of the scene. These not striking anvils, these die anvils, which are rectangular blocks of steel, hard steel. But if all you can find, and you have limited resources, is a block of steel to use as an anvil, and you want to dip your toes into the craft of blacksmithing, get interested, that is the way to do it. Get a block of steel, start hammering steel, fall in love with the craft, I guarantee you will, and then once you've decided that this is definitely something that you want to do more of, I guarantee that will be your decision. This stuff's kind of addictive. You might then want to save up for an anvil that has, you know, all your wonderful amenities of the horn, of the heel, of the pritchel, and the harding. So I'm just going to go ahead and flatten these areas right here. That's how I want to try and avoid that down. Straighten that out. Flatten these areas. And now in anticipation of that being in this direction, that being in this direction, okay. Let me just double check. I'm checking the orientation to make sure I like it. Okay. Which way do I like best? You know, I think I like that way best. Oh. Made it a little different. That's alright. It's going to be a little different there. Man, that's the fun of live streaming stuff. So at these low temperatures, I'm going to go ahead and lay out my ball punch mark. How are you guys doing? Let's see what's new on Facebook. What steels do I use in my Damascus? I use, okay, so let me use a couple different terminologies. In America, the steels I use would be all 1080, 0.8% carbon, and 15N20, which is a high nickel, high carbon steel, again about 0.8% carbon, if I remember correctly, that is. Here in the UK, the 1080 is steel called EN42J, comes in sheet form. I have it sheared up, and it makes for pretty great Damascus. Works great. That's very fun. Let's see the YouTube comments. Let's have a look here. Okay, Nick asked about my propane forge. You know, it's something that I haven't really shown a lot. If I was 100% happy with it, I'd be kind of showing it off and showing it and doing walk-arounds and things like that. There's some tweaks that I want to do. I like the fact that it's modular. It's made with bricks, and when the bricks wear out, because the bricks eventually do, you can pull a brick out, put a new brick in, but it comes from the underneath, then you have the insulative top on top. And it's a pretty exciting board. It does work well, but I got a few tweaks such as the durability of the top. I'm playing with different coating materials, different coating methods for the KO board to both kind of keep it safe to be around and be hard wearing enough to be able to forge in it all day long for, you know, a very decent amount of time before you need to reline it. Yes guys, I'm making a wall sconce, which is very exciting. So the whole idea with these live streams is that it's very impromptu, very off the cuff. And Sam, could you tell them just about how soon ago you think it was that we came up with the idea to make a wall sconce?
About an hour and a half ago.
About an hour and a half ago. And so about an hour and a half ago, we're debating what we're going to make in this live stream. And I don't know how the topic of the sconce came up, but the topic of the sconce came up, and so that's all fine and dandy. And with about, I don't know, 2 linear feet of sketch in chalk on the concrete floor, I decided on a pretty rough design. Sam very kindly headed out to the local store to pick up a candle, and here we are. I made that first half piece, and I'm very excited. This is a wonderful experience for me because I get to push my forging abilities by doing relatively creative things that I've never done before, hopefully in a timely manner, which is exciting because of course in the taste of a lot of what I do more regularly, I don't get the time to really push myself and learn more about forging, you know, very different things than what I'm used to. So I'm extraordinarily excited to be doing this. And more so I'm excited because I get to share the craft of blacksmithing a little more. I hope you enjoy it. I think that's just fantastic. Okay, you remember guys? Okay, here we go, there's that piece. It's looking pretty sick. Let's show them. You can see there is one discrepancy. That is one discrepancy between this and the other. Hey, you know, that's part of the fun again. This one goes in line. This one goes on a nice little kind of different offset there. It's not the end of the world. I'm not going to be upset about it. At this stage, it's certainly nothing I can do apart from starting again. But guys, we're live. We're not going to do that. Okay. So the next step here is I'm going to punch a hole. So I'm going to be using this V-tip sort of punch. Hey, Sam, would you mind zooming in on this? You just go ahead and zoom in with the camera. Freaking sweet. Okay, awesome. So this is a V-tip slot punch. This is something that I was first shown by Brian Brazil, much like most of my things. And it is pointy, so you can line it up on the center mark, and you can make tiny thin bricks while readjusting the punch. It also means it will kind of flow into the steel, hopefully quite efficiently, and it's overall a very nice punch to use. I'm going to throw a glove on, it's a hair on the short side, and let's punch this hole. Any more fun comments coming through, Sam? Facebook, how are you? Where are you from? Guys, I love this. So Trig asks if I've ever been interested in other crafts once I started blacksmithing. You know, once I kind of started blacksmithing, I guess I became a little bit obsessed. I've had interests around photography and other kind of creative things like that, certainly. Other crafts, like the handwork that I've done, has all pretty largely been very much around blacksmithing. When I was very young, I would do woodwork with my father, but obviously doing blacksmithing, that kind of took over that, and so I haven't really done much since getting into blacksmithing now a pretty long time ago. Feels like it at least. Okay. So let's go ahead and work out which orientation I'm going to want this to be like that. So like this, I'm going to go about behind where my forging starts and stops here. Give a little pin break. A little pin break. And progressively get harder and harder. I'm going to take another heat.
Someone asked if you'd make it.
Announce it.
The gold silver.
Sorry?
The gold silver.
Makume Gane. Have I ever made Makume Gane?
Would you do it live?
Would I make Makume Gane and would I do it live? Well, you know, I've never made Makume Gane. You know, that seems like one of the more complex and involved projects to do live. And I think rather than doing it off the cuff for the first time, as I've done here up until episode 2, I think I'd probably want to practice that first. So certainly, if I practice Makume Gane, I like it, I think I'm successful at it, and I think it's worth sharing, I would happily do it live. So keep sharing the video. Keep sharing it with people. You know, if you guys have any Facebook groups, blacksmithing Facebook groups you like, and you think people would like to see this live forging demo that I'm very excited to put on, please share it there. I would sincerely appreciate it. I re-establish the mark. It's easy. Find my bullseye here on the back. Give it a little pinprick. this on the record. Next month, he's going to be doing a live shoemaking demo here. We're going to trade places. He's going to do a live shoemaking demo. Give you guys a little bit of an idea of what it is that a farrier gets up to. I'll probably come. Are you not happy that I put that on the record? I'll probably come around and follow him around for a day, get some cool shots to show you the rest of what it's like to live the life of a farrier. And of course, guys, that's just if you want it. If you guys want to see that, let us know. Let us know. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and drift this all over. Guys, let's do it. Hey Matt, I'm really sorry. We had an issue with the sound. I've got this fancy lavalier mic, and it didn't work, which is a bummer. I'm really sorry about that. So we had to go to the shotgun mic, which sadly doesn't isolate this away as much. Hence why I'm speaking louder, hence why I'm going to certainly have zero voice by the end of the evening. Hey, it is what it is, we're live. John Ingram. I would love to have induction heat. You know, you guys, you know what I'm going to do after this heat? After I finish that piece, I can move this propane bottle over here. So what I'll do is I think I'm going to go ahead and turn that off after each heat, see if that noise becomes... You know what, I came over here with a hot piece of steel without even knowing what I was going to do. Let me explain again what it is that I'm going to do. Every heat, I'm going to come out and I'm going to turn that forge off, see if that'll help the noise issues there. So sorry guys. Hey, it is what it is. For Sam's wife, Leah, will film him shoeing your horse, so that's when it's going to get shot.
In about 4 weeks.
That's a commitment to equine care there that's quite unfathomable, Sam. Okay, I can get and dry that drift in the small side. Get that through there and flatten it off. I do want to thin that out ahead just to work with the size of rivet we have. I think that's going to be good. And then, because of course that drift is made out of hot rolled steel, it is not true 10mm, true 3/8 size. And hot rolled is kind of plus or minus, so I like to just open it up a little bit. And now after those few hits, I'm going to be able to go ahead and take my rivet and see how it fits. You know, I want to be able to just throw that thing in there, rivet it together, and be super quick about it. I don't want to have to necessarily take the huge amount of care to get a perfectly snug fit that I might if I had the amount of time. So, to account for that, I'm going to go ahead and take that drift again, enlarge the hole, even at these colder temperatures. Yeah, it's forcing it. It wouldn't be classed as, you know, correct forging etiquette. And I'm only happy to do it because I know that that steel is strong, it's not going to fracture by doing a little bit colder hole enlargement. that's going to do is that's going to save me, allow me to increase my pace and speed when I'm using this rivet right there. Sweet, how are you guys doing on YouTube, guys? 62 on YouTube. How many do we have on Facebook?
83.
Sorry? 83 on YouTube, 82 on 83 on Facebook. Good Lord, 62 on YouTube. That is awesome, guys. Please keep sharing the stream. If you're on YouTube and you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. I love being here. Love having you guys here. It is just very, very exciting. So last week I did a t-shirt giveaway. I gave away 6 t-shirts, which is awesome. These t-shirts. Not giving away any t-shirts today. I gave away the t-shirts in exchanges for shares and comments and likes. Well, look, guys, there are 83 of you guys on Facebook. Are there 83 of you guys letting us know that you're here? Number. Let us know you're here. We'd love to see you. We'd love to say hello. Oh, thank you so much, Sam. Appreciate that. Now that I've punched that hole, and go ahead and cut it off. I want to cut it off from one side. I want to make sure I cut it off from the side that's going to work for the piece that we have here. I'm going to set this up how it needs to be. Wants to be like that. Go ahead and grab a little more heat there. How are we doing on YouTube? If this is a Leatherman wave in my pocket, or whether I'm just happy to see you. Well, I'm both happy to see you, certainly not in that light. And this is a Leatherman note sidekick. Quite like it. It's handy around the shop. Okay. See if I can remember to do that this time. Ooh, boy. Right, so that is going to be going like this. This is going to be going like that, so I want to cut this right there. How much steel am I going to want to take? Right about this much. Now, of course, this is going to deform the hole. That's something I've kind of anticipated for. I'm going to have to throw that drift in there anyway. And I'm just doing a cut from one side. You'll notice it kind of flares it off the side, so we've got to check that back. And I cut from corner to corner to middle, reduce the surface area of contact a little bit. Get to the bottom there. Before I break it off, I can go ahead and use this as a handle so I don't have to pick it up with tongs. Check back that cut, like so. Bring it down to plane. You know, you guys remember I did thin this area out a little bit more than the 1/2 inch bar, just so that we can get in there. Now I can go ahead and grab my tongs, break that bad boy off. Sweet. That's awesome, guys. So here's that piece right here. You notice that hole did get deformed. It's all good. I can take a drift or a punch and simply pretty it up. Any more questions coming through, Sam?
No on Facebook.
Come on, Facebook. Where's my punch gone? Okay. Okie dokie. So I'm happy to leave these all bent and in whatever shape they are. That's all good with me, because they're going to be heated and adjusted once everything is riveted together. I'm going to go ahead and lay this stuff to the side, and I'm going to begin working on the section that is going to be making the holder for the camera. So So you see I've already drawn this piece out. I went ahead and did that on the power hammer before we started, just I don't have a guillotine tool to get in there, bring that down, and do that by hand while forging. Also to help me try and expedite the process. The first step that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and punch a hole in this arm, probably right about in the middle, and I'm going to punch a hole that is 10 millimeters, just like the hole that we have punched in that former arm, the former arm of the candle holder. What's going on YouTube, guys? Bandit asks me whether I prefer using a handheld hot cut chisel or a hot cut hardy to cut my steel. Most of my kind of cutting stock to size I'll go ahead and do with a Brazil style hot cut hardy. The only reason that I use this to cut my steel is because I wanted that cut to go from one side, and I didn't want any inaccuracies, any inevitable inaccuracies from my hammer swing to leave dings and dents in the steel, especially considering it was so close to the forged holes. So that was the reason I did this. Around sorry, we tried, guys. I have an option, another option. It'll restrict me a little more. Untangling this. Let's see if we can. It'll be wide. I think that'll be work. Actually, stretch. More comments. What anvil am I using? I'm using a Brooks 51 kilo anvil. I tend not to get too caught up about what anvil it is that I have. You know, I've got all sorts of different anvils, but the reason I tend not to get too caught up is because I wholeheartedly believe that a great start and introduction into the craft of blacksmithing is a block of steel. It's a great introduction, and it will make you fall in love with the craft of blacksmithing. And everything you've seen me do here, you can do on that block of steel. If you need a hole, you just might take a little smaller block of steel and drill a hole in that bad boy and set it right on top, and that'll be just fine. You can lay it in the dirt and forge perfectly well, do all of these projects sitting down with a hole in the ground. And I show you how to do that in the online course that you can find at beginblacksmithing.com, and I think that is a very, very good introduction into this craft. So, because that's a slotted hole, I'm going to be using a slot punch to open that up. Now it's going to be hot over that piece of steel, so I'm going to insert the slot punch using a pair of tongs. See if I can find out. More job. What's up? Kill the forge. Thank you, Sam. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Sam. You just reminded me to shut the forge off. Guys, this is fun. This is fun. Okay. Small side of the eye up. It's a little high up with these gooseneck tongs. Hole up in a relatively speedy fashion. Check this up, make sure it's all square. And you know, I'm gonna go ahead and throw that back in the fire, get a touch more heat. It cooled off a little slower than the half-inch square bar naturally, as that is only a quarter-inch thick, so it's got half the volume of the half-inch square bar being a quarter by half-inch. Going on YouTube. Okay, Charles Sager asked me, what kind of steel do I make my punches out of? Well, when you're first making punches, you can use coil spring, and a coil spring will make a fantastic hand tool. And in fact, the steel that I use to make my punches is very, very similar to coil spring. It's just that it doesn't come in coils. I buy it in bars like this. I don't happen to have a lot right now. But I just go ahead and buy the bar, and I found that it's a little easier to just go ahead and cut up a bar than it is to go through the hassle of uncoiling and straightening a coil spring every time I need to make a punch. I do a lot of these kind of tool classes, and you know, we're often making a lot of hand tools, and the effort of straightening out every single coil to do those could be better be spent, you know, teaching them about techniques and things like that. Golden on that front. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do is lay these in here. Boom. Boom. I know you guys have no clue how this is going to turn out right about now, but it's all good. Just you wait. Patience will help. Ah, you see this one? Just a hair small. Doesn't want to go in there without a little bit of wiggling. That's kind of something I wanted to avoid, you know. I kept these holes a hair on the oversize. There we go. Beautiful, plenty enough. 1.5 times the rivet diameter here for the head. and that was just by thinning that one piece out a little more, because I knew that rivet was a hair short, and this is going to be great. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to begin forging out a pad here on this, forging out a pad here on this, 45 mil, no, 40 mil, so about 1 3/8 inches wide by 1/4 inch thick bar. I'm going to get in there and forge it with my round die like this, and I think that'll leave an interesting texture and that'll spread out. But first, however, I'm actually going to score a chisel line, just so I know where my cube is and where to work to. So go back in the forge. And let's read some more of your guys' wonderful comments. Brady McPhail, thank you so much for your comment on YouTube. What I am making is I am making a wall sconce, which is fun. And the wall sconce is going to be holding this candle. They call it a Yankee candle. So considering I presume most of you guys are from the US, that's kind of fitting, right? Are we good? Let's give this a try. Right, so guys, to give you a little bit of context here, we have another mic, and we can see how this works here with the audio. Pull that off. You can plug it straight into where the word mic is. Yeah. Making funny faces for you guys. Where's it go? Got it. Hey, can you hear me now? All good? We're good? Okay. So we're now on mic solution number 3, and I hope this is better. I hope you can hear a little bit more clearly my voice. Do you reckon that would be the case, Sam? We're good? Great. Okay, I'm excited. What's up? Don't need to? Great. The audio is that good, I'm pleased. And this will be just fine. The issue here is this is a corded microphone. I'm going to scribe myself a cube. So I'm going to take this. Boom. Find my center. Gently lay it out. I just want to score this too. I don't want to go too far, otherwise it will fall off while we forge that pad there. Remember, of course, guys, we are making a wall sconce. This is going to be the pad that holds the candle. If you've just joined me, I'm so pleased that you are here. I do these live streams every Saturday now, which is very exciting. Occasionally give away fun stuff. Last week, gave away 6 t-shirts to a random group of people, very kind people, who shared and commented on the stream, which was exciting, and I'm thrilled about it. I've got some more t-shirts being printed as we speak, except only in the work week, because it's Saturday at 10 p.m. here in the United Kingdom. Actually, no, it's probably Saturday at like 11 p.m. in the United Kingdom. 10 past 11. So they'll probably keep printing them on Monday, and I'm going to give some of those away. Fun t-shirts, little design I came up with that I think you guys are going to love. In fact, I kind of know that you guys are going to love. I'm going to turn up the pressure here on this forge. Give us a little more heat. Let's read some more comments. Seth Williams asks, what kind of anvil is this? So this is a Brooks 100 weight, so about 51 kilogram anvil. Quite a nice anvil, it's got a hard face, however the edges like to chip. So here I have welded up this edge here, and yeah, it's nice. But again, as I was saying a little while earlier, I tend to try not to get too caught up on anvils because you can do a whole lot with just a block, and a hole in the ground is a forge. So, you know, I don't want you guys to look at this and get overwhelmed. Blacksmithing requires an enormous amount of equipment. It does not. That's something that I try and show and demonstrate as often as I can, and especially in my online course, How to Start Blacksmithing, that kind of shows you how to go and start with an extraordinarily primitive setup that you can get for very little money, under $90, and then how to begin forging your first projects. And that is a really fun one, and I was thrilled to have produced that one. Sorry? Okay, I'm going to have some hammers for sale at some point. My plan is to open up like a pre-order list. The thing is, I'm just like, the term here is chock-a-block. I'm busy as can be doing the classes and doing the live streams and making online courses and all that stuff, and I haven't had the opportunity to make some hammers for you guys. I know that there are plenty of you guys that have requested me to make you some hammers. Sorry, really sorry. They're going to be coming soon. Soon is the best word I can use because I can't quite say. My plan is to do a run in the last week of August, he says, question mark, and I want to get you guys some hammers. Don't worry, it's on my mind. It's all on my mind. Okay. So I'm trying to stay kind of in the center here as I forge this thing out. With that small radius of my round die. This is the beauty of the rounding hammer. Oh, you know, trying to avoid those missed blows. See this? Not going to worry about straightening that out. It's not an issue. I'm still going to be able to get in the fire and do perfectly fine. Woohoo! This is fun. Let's see some more comments. I want to see what you guys are up to. Where are you from? Where are you all commenting from? Let's find out. Hey, Matt, that's please. Yes, I will be giving away t-shirts. Don't worry about that. Giving away 6 already, which is exciting and expensive, but more exciting. And I can't wait to do more. Got some really fun ones coming. I don't know if you guys caught that like first introduction scene, but that kind of has the logo there. We'll show you this scene for 5 seconds and then I'll be back. And you see the logo in the top left? Without the live, so that logo in the top left there, I've made into t-shirts. I'm doing a very small batch of those, and I want to give some away, and I'm going to keep a couple myself, because, you know, a new t-shirt would be cool. But I'll probably end up giving the rest away, unless somebody is begging to buy them, we'll see. Now I can straighten this thing out. However, it's just about to get bent anyway, so I'm not super worried about it. Okay, I want to try and dump that scale out of there. Woohoo, this is fun. Okay, I like that shape. I think that is going to work well with this to kind of prop it up there. That was the candle, in case you didn't catch it. I like it. I'm gonna go ahead and heat it up, straighten this out how I want. You know, I want to do that stuff hot. I don't like kind of bending things back and forth too much at the lower temperatures. You know, sorry? A workshop tour, is that what somebody's asked for? Okay, I think it'd be cool to do a workshop tour. How messy is it in there though? Because of course setting all this up has kind of made it a little bit messy. So, like a little bit means like this much messy. That's how much messy my workshop is. Like, not this, it's like this messy. Setting all this stuff up and kind of tearing it down makes it a little messy. Right now I've got a student here, however, from Dubai, which is just awesome. Like, how incredible. Dubai, my God. And we're having a lot of fun, and so I've got to, once I tear down after this, got to pull all the mess out from inside and bring the mess into here. You guys don't get to see the mess in here that's usually here. Right. Let's do a little bit of straightening. Get a little more curvature in there. You know, I could even sink it into a cupping tool if I had one. I don't. So I can maybe come right in there. Okay, any of you guys that are like lurking and haven't posted a comment, come on, man. This is blacksmithing. The blacksmithing community is one of awesome people. Don't be shy. Say hello, introduce yourself, let them know what you're interested in blacksmithing and where you're from. Maybe there will be somebody who can potentially teach you something, or who you can potentially teach a wonderfully fulfilling thing, something about blacksmithing very nearby. Connect with them, and I want this to be a place of wonderful friendships being born and hopefully great content being produced. So this right here is nice. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off and then make a bend. And I'm going to get ready to use the vise here. Oh, this is exciting. I'm having fun. This is just so fantastic to take an idea from so short of a time ago. If you've just tuned in, the whole idea of these live shows is to be doing very impromptu forging. I want to both push my own forging abilities by doing things in front of an audience of a pretty whopping number of people, might I add. And it's exciting as hell. I'm thrilled, and I get to experiment. I get to try new things. I get to be more creative than I sometimes can be, and I love it. I'm so excited to have you here. I'm so excited to be live. What I'm going to go ahead and do now, come over to here to my hot cut Hardy. Cut that bad boy off. Okay, there we go. All right, let's read some more comments. Nathan, I'm so pleased you feel as if I'm in my shop. You're in my shop. I hope you do feel I'm in my shop. That would be kind of odd if you didn't. But yeah, I'm so pleased that you feel as if you're here in my shop. Of course, you're welcome here anytime. My workshop's kind of relatively small, so it's wonderful to be able to have like 140 of you guys all crammed in here. That is the wonder of technology. That's why I'm just so thrilled to be living in this incredible age where it is possible for me to speak to you guys in such wonderful numbers. So thank you for being here. Wherever you are, whether you're a blacksmith or not, it's just wonderful to have you. I'm gonna go ahead and grip this piece and turn it 90 degrees. Sweet. Get my hand hammer in here. Wonderful. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and take one more heat, and I'm gonna try and just kind of reform that piece. Hey Hunt, it is great to have you here. I'm sorry you're late to the party, that's all right. All of this stuff can be rewatched later, anytime on my Facebook page and my YouTube channel, which is great. I'm very pleased that you're here now. What I am making is I am making a wall sconce design that kind of Sam and I just kind of came up with on the fly here just a couple of hours ago, right before doing this. And it's pretty exciting. We have two pieces already forged right here. And these pieces make up the arms that hold the wall sconce. And this is going to be a pretty fun design. It's all going to be riveted together, and it's going to be able to be mounted on the wall. And the idea is that it'll hold this here little Yankee candle, is what it was called, which is pretty exciting. Nice little red candle, and I think that's quite fun. Jared, thank you so much. Jared is here from Western North Carolina. What an incredible day to be living. I'm gonna go ahead and take, don't quite have the tool that I need right here, so I'm gonna make do, and I'm gonna use this and drive that. See, what's happened is by twisting it, it's kind of tweaked and warped that the area where the candle is gonna sit. I like the fact that it's kind of tweaked and warped in some respects, but I just kind of want to reduce that amount. These gooseneck tongs make it difficult to hold. Reduce that amount just a hair. Come over here. Like so. I can come back in over here at the vise. Nope. Grip it again. And now I'm ready to break this off, finally. Oh wow, this is exciting. I hope I haven't missed anything in my design. Again, the beauty of this is all impromptu, off the cuff. The idea is, just like Nathan mentioned, I want you to be in my workshop while I'm doing this. I want you to feel as if, you know, we're just having a conversation. That's the idea. If there's any way that I can better do that, I apologize for the audio. That was such a shame. Hopefully this is better, and I think this is a more reliable solution. This is a lavalier mic that's wired. But I want you to feel as if you're here in my audio, in my workshop every week, because I come to you live doing this. If there's any way that you think I could better do that, better help you get an enjoyment from this show, let me know. Okay, I'm gonna break this off. It's gonna take some talking here. Okay. That's been broken off. I really like it. I'm liking the look of it. I'm now going to take a heat while holding it from this direction, just so I can get in there, get a little more of a dish, and then we're going to be able to begin the assembly process. You'll notice that we've punched 3/8 holes, so about 10mm holes. In fact, it is 10mm holes, about 3/8. I'm here in the UK, and I'm going to work with metric system, and we punched those holes, and we've got a 10mm rivet. 3/8 rivet, very roughly. And we're going to be riveting them together before working on getting the bends how we like and getting it all looking with the shape that best fits the intended application of this. This here in the vise is hot, so of course I want to release that, make sure it stays somewhere where it's not going to hurt anybody. A little bit of safety first. How you doing, Sam? Having fun? Good. Are you guys looking at the, okay, here's what we made last week, guys. Oh, my head's in the way. Here's what we made last week. The door knocker. Hello? Anybody there? Oh, my, kind of lost my voice there, a little bit of shouting earlier. Trying to communicate to you guys. Hey, Abel Sanchez, great to see you. Great to see you. Nick, I'm so sorry I can't pronounce your last name. The PS. It would be absolutely rude because I'd pronounce it terribly. The PSI I'm running the forge at. Okay, this is a Venturi forge. I'm using an Amal long Venturi propane injector as the burner. And I'm running the PSI, okay, I only have it set in bars, so I'm not sure of the conversion, about 1.5, probably around 20 to 30 psi. Let me go ahead and grab these tongs. Get in here real quick. Forge this some more from that side. Wow, this is exciting. I like it. Now I'm going to flip it over, grip it again in the vise, re-establish my squareness. I like it again. And while it's gripped here, I'm going to go ahead and take my rasp and just file it a little bit smoother here from where that cut was. Take off the sharp edges as needs be. Very gently here, just with the fine side of the rasp. Okay, so now my fellow blacksmiths, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to begin the assembly process. This is going to hold the candle itself, and my arms are somewhere. They're here, but these arms, I mean. I'm going to assemble them together. Now, what I'm processing in my brain is I'm trying to work out and discern when is the most efficient time to fit this all together. Sorry? Oh, I think I'm going to be okay for this. I'm just kind of trying to work out, holding it up there just to imagine in my head whether I fit them together now or later. Hammer's in the way. Thank you so much, Sam. So I can have a look at this. And I'm going to imagine, can I fit that in my forge while it's upright? I think I can. Great. So I'm going to go ahead and rivet. I'm first going to drop forge it. Very important step. Very important step to drop forge it. That is humor. It just fell on the ground. Terrible humor at that. Okay. Since this piece is hot, and I want to be able to handle it without hurting myself, I'm going to give it a wire brush and go ahead and cool it off there. Man, this is exciting. Okay. So now I've got to find my rivet. What a riveting thing. Oh goodness. Okay, well the rivet is somewhere. I'm sure that I had an issue with a rivet last time. If anybody would care to remind anybody that's new about where the rivet was. Oh, found the rivet, we're all good. We got it, we found the rivet. Thanks, Sam. Okay, so I'm gonna want this like this. That like that. You know, I think I want that one up. Like so. That one, like so. Boom, like that. I'm gonna set these up how I want them, in the order I want. I'm gonna try not to trip over my wire here. I'm doing a very bad job of not tripping over. Yes, that's exactly what happened last time. So last time, I was, going to rivet the piece, trying to, rush away, and I threw the rivet in the fire, and it landed right in the burner. Now, I got inspired to do an underneath burner. That's such poor English. I got inspired to make a forge with the burner coming from the underneath by Nathan Robertson. Here we go. There we go. It's inspired to make a forge with the burner coming from the underneath by Nathan Robertson. And I love the idea. I was always a little cautious over whether, fishing out the old mic out of myself, over whether I would lose things or get debris caught in the burner hole. Well, it's never happened to me, apart from about an hour and a half into my first ever live stream last week. Super excited, super nervous. Throw the rivet in there and it drops right in the burner hole. And it takes me about 5 minutes to take the forge completely apart, pull the burner out, pull the rivet out and restart forging. And that was fun. very funny. Yes.
Incorporate your next live stream.
Sweet. So I'm going to go ahead and take a rigger glove and put it on, because what I've often found when I'm assembling things is I get a little too close to the hot stuff, and this is a little better to be near the hot stuff with. I'm going to start with this. Okay. When you're doing this riveting, you know, you kind of want to take your time, and you probably don't want to be distracted by talking. How many people do we have on Facebook right now? Woohoo! That is awesome, guys. Please keep sharing this with your friends. I'd really appreciate that. Again, got any blacksmithing groups that you like being a part of and you think people would appreciate seeing this fun live stream and participating? Please share it there. I would love that. Last week, as I've been saying, guys, last week I traded shares for entries, giving away t-shirts this way. I'm just trying to ask kindly. Okay, so I'm gonna go here, hole 1, tap it in, boom, hole 2, oh boy, an issue I hadn't foreseen, but it's all good. Hole 3, how are we looking? Okay, I like it. But now I've got a pretty freaking cold rivet. So I've got to, you know, force it a little bit, which is something that I'm not super fond of. Because of course, by forcing it, you kind of risk a little more bending it over in the wrong direction. It's all right, it's centered. Now you'll see it's thicker. The rivet head is thicker than the other one. That's good, that's exactly what I want. There needs to be a degree of manipulatability. Oh my goodness, so good at English. Manipulatability, that's a new word that I've just come up with. We need to be able to manipulate it basically after the fact. And so I want to be able to manipulate it and then reset the rivet to lock it in place, considering this is round. Okay, the next step is going to be putting an offset in the legs, making sure they're flat. I'm going to do each one at a time. Then once they're cool, we're going to loosen this, set it to where we want it, and reset the rivet. This is exciting, guys. We are almost there. Brilliant. What else? What other fun questions do you guys have? Hey Joe, you said you had a suggestion for what to make next week. What is it? Let's hear it. Okay. Okay, let's see Facebook. What is Facebook saying? Glenn Weeby. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. So I have the burner coming in from the side right here, very too much to the edge of one side of the forge. What that means is that flame does, you know, suck around and create a lot of turbulence, and it means that this forge has a very even temperature throughout, which is a good thing. I really wouldn't feel so positive about gas forges if I was using gas forges where the temperature was pretty inconsistent and you had hot spots. I don't like forges that have the burner coming straight down. For that reason, you do develop hot spots. Again, great if you're just getting into blacksmithing for the first time, but you know, it's nice to not have hot spots if you're doing any more in the future. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take a Sharpie, and I'm gonna probably mark, about an inch and a quarter or so from this one end of my vise. I might have thought that out wrong. We'll see. And I'm going to take this piece. I've absolutely thought that out wrong. I'm going to take this piece about an inch and a half here, and I'm going to very gently Wrong way. Very gently bend that back. And then I'm going to set it back down after the fact. I'm going to take something to use as a spacer. Find a little piece of steel. Okay. Take that as a spacer. Just in case. Okay. So there's that offset that we need. Bring it off the wall. I like it. So now that that offset is good, we can begin to go ahead and put some shape in this. And I want to go ahead and take another heat, and I'm going to do it in the vise with scroll tongs. There's just an extra degree of control. Any more questions, guys? Do you have to have a rivet header to make a rivet? No, you don't. Oh, here we go. The spacer that I was using. You can use this to make your rivet because this piece is 1.5 times the 10. My bad, guys. I'm so sorry. This piece is 1.5 times the 10 mil rivet diameter in width. I drilled a 10.5 or 11 mil hole. So that what I can do is I can go ahead and take a rivet that's the right length, set this in here, set the holes that I'm trying to rivet through over the top, and use the actual work piece as a rivet header itself. And this is a spacer to make sure it's all kind of evenly spaced there. That is a very useful tool, and I'll often use this when I'm making tongs too. And by the way, a rivet header, all it is, this is my rivet header. This is just a hammer billet with a hole drilled in it, you know, a hair oversized, just so that you can account for the expansion of the steel as it heats up and the fact that hot rolled steel is generally a little bit proud. Okay, now I'm gonna lock this thing in the vise there, very gently because it's hot right there. And I'm gonna begin tweaking it round. And getting some shape in it. Like so. Okay, I like that shape. Maybe a little less right there. Sweet. Okay, I like that shape. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to flip this around and do the same on the other side. So normally, you know, I generally tend not to be of the prerogative of the disposition to quench really anything unless I'm trying to get it hard. I like to let things air cool if I have the ability, even mild steel, because you know it's pretty common to run across mild steel that is just a little harder than what mild should be, and you can make it a little bit brittle. However, right now, for the sake of doing it live, I'm going to go ahead and wire brush it and cool that off. That's going to allow me to go ahead and run in here and hold it by hand. How are we looking, Sam? We all good on Facebook? Woo, my voice is gone. Sorry? 285 comments, you wonderful, wonderful people. How exciting. 64 watching on YouTube, what an honor. Thank you guys so much. Old James, that is a wonderful comment to hear. Old James on YouTube says this is so much better than anything on TV. Yeah, that's what I want to hear. Thank you, Old James. That means the world to me. You are freaking awesome. back to Facebook. Where are you at, Facebook? Hey, Ferraria, Renan Tavora, it is great to see you. Justin Lamar, thank you so much. I'm really pleased you find this enjoyable. That means the world to me. I'm just so thrilled to keep coming back here. And you know, I'm enjoying this so much that I'm just sad that this is not episode 102, but this is episode 2. I guarantee you 102 will be coming shortly. And hopefully I can keep making it enjoyable and entertaining, because it freaking is enjoyable and it is extremely entertaining for me. Okay. See if I can put a relatively even amount of steel out here. I'm gonna put it. So in my caution to not grip it too hard, I ended up gripping it extraordinarily lightly. Okay, how do I like the look of that? I think she's good. Get back in there, pretty up that little area. Straighten out any tweaks. I'm liking this, guys. I'm having so much fun. Thank you for being here. Sorry? Hey, Brian Sheenan. Yes. I've seen many blacksmiths and been in awe. My first exposure to a blacksmith, I was completely glued to the spot watching what he was doing. It was extraordinary. Seeing steel move under a hammer so effortlessly for the first time. And who it was James Spedding of Holcombe Forge here in North Norfolk in the United Kingdom. I saw it and I was just like, oh my good Lord, this is incredible, and I wanted to do it. I saw him making a leaf pendant. He gave it to me, and it was a moment that very much changed my life, because here I am today, seeing you wonderful people tune in live, seeing you wonderful people have wonderful insights to make here in the comments, ask wonderful questions, and just be freaking awesome. And that was my first experience of seeing another blacksmith and being in awe. Okay. Got that second bend how I want it. That's good. Straighten out that bad boy. Now I'm going to put another little bit of more artistic flair in it. This is so fun. Oh, it's great being here. Hey Connor, it's great to see you here from the West Midlands. Well, it's great to see you here from Norfolk, but I'm seeing you who is in the West Midlands. There we go, you guys get it. It's all good. Cedar Ford, thank you so much. I'm pleased that you love the show. That's awesome. Hey Michelle, great to see you. Jared 6, I'm sorry.
626.
Oh, there we go. Jared 626, great last name. The weight of my striking anvil and the dimensions. This one, a little different to my kind of normal one. I don't know how much it weighs, and then maybe 40 pounds. Like the actual anvil part of it. But the dimensions that I kind of generate advise are 5 by 2 by 12 with a hole center 3 inches in from one end that is an inch square. Let's give this a wire brush while that's nice and hot. And go ahead and lock it in the vise. I'm going to lock it in the vise a little further back. Yeah, this is so much fun, guys. It is just amazing to be here. What an incredible day and age to live in. Remember, guys, the more you share this stream, the more I'm gonna be, the more I'm going to be back doing more of this. I love being here, but I just want you guys to share this. Let's get as many people interested in blacksmithing. I've got more fun stuff to give away next week. Some cool t-shirts. Okay, tweaking these bends. Trying to get them how I kind of, get them to flow aesthetically. It's exciting doing this creative stuff, so much on the move like this, in this mad rush. I love it. Okay. That final tweaking and twisting can be done after the fact. I'm now going to go ahead and readjust this piece here so it can hold the candle. If I can fit it in the forge. That is. Okay. Having a few forge fitting issues. That's all right. I'm going to go ahead and push this brick over to the side. Great. Let's see if I can poke that in there a little further. Let's read some more comments. Let's see what you guys are up to. Arthur Chavez, yes, the weight of this anvil is 51 kilograms. Jesse Johnson, thank you so much for the question. I use gas almost all the time. In the past year or so, I've had called to use coke myself. 2 days consecutively to make some bar stools. I love working in gas. It's great, especially considering most of what I'm doing now is kind of teaching private classes here. I really enjoy being able to tell a student more about what's happening here at the anvil than what's happening here at the forge. Because here is where the magic happens, and when there is technology that is not like it's great 21st century invention, the gas forge, but this is a technology advance from coke and coal. That means that we only have to focus here, because the gas forge will heat up the steel. It won't burn the steel. You don't have to worry about your fire maintenance. You just got to worry about turning on the regulator, make sure it's turning on enough, make sure you've got your oxygen flow pretty good. You turn that puppy on, you start forging, and you have a great day of forging, and you don't worry about your fire maintenance. Fire maintenance is a great skill to have. Working in a coke forge, the most versatile forge there really is. You can do a whole plethora of work that you can't do in a gas forge due to the nature of the shape of the item that you might be making. But here, for almost all hand forging operations, this is great. Great to use a gas forge, but of course, limitations are shape, limitations are heat also potentially. Okay, let's get this thing out of here. So guys, I think we're pretty resounded in the fact that next week, I'm not even going to try that fancy wireless microphone that we used last week and we used at the beginning of the stream. I think we're just going to go ahead and use this. Okay. I'm going to set this to where I want it, and I'm going to make sure it's square with the rest. Oh wow, this is exciting, guys. We're almost finishing this up. I'm going to try and square it up. Obviously, it's very difficult with these sinusoidal shapes. Okay, that was kind of a weird place to be. Square up the pad. Keep it nice. I don't want to hit too much because, of course, that is liable to kind of damage this area. And now I kind of want to line it up as best on the anvil, see if it's square with the wall. Yeah, it's pretty good. Before I lock it in, however, I'm going to flatten it out. And the striking anvil has a little more flat surface than the flat of my anvil. So by laying it here, I can get this set up. So I know that I've got to get a little bit of a twist in there. Great, I can untwist that, boom, easy peasy using the vise. That is certainly a great help. Come back to the striking anvil. Oh wow, this is great. Okay, so that is all flat. I know it's flat. Now what I can go ahead and do is I can kneel down here and see if the piece that is going to hold the candle is square. Give it a little adjustment. Lovely. Oh, how exciting. Now this is the point where I lock in the rivet. It's a hair on the cold side. I've understood that, I've accepted that. But with enough force, it's going to get it. And I want to do it now rather than throwing it back in the fire, because now it's perfectly set up. We're good to go. And I don't want to risk moving it around by going back into the forge. So I'm going to hold this and lock that in. Because this will be mounted directly to a wall, I'm not concerned about making a square, making kind of locking points in the round hole to make sure that it doesn't move. I'm quite happy for it to be round. It's going to go straight on a wall, and it's going to be held on, you know, 4 mounting holes. Flatten it off. I like making a nice flat rivet. Oh, how exciting, guys. This is great. Now I need to find a place for my touch mark. Where's the touch mark going to go? It's going to go right there. Shut that off. Oh, this is exciting. Where is the touch mark? Any more questions, Sam? What is the news? What weight of hammer have I used? Well, for this entire piece, I've been using this 3.5 pound square circle that I make. And for really anything 1/2 inch and below, I find 3.5 pounds to be certainly quite adequate right now. I enjoy using that. Okay, where am I going to set my touch mark? Can I fit it there? No. Upright. Upright, no. No, you know, touch mark's going to have to go right in here. So I'm going to grip it. Make sure it's not moving around too much. Ah, you guys can hear my voice is gone. Oh, what a great, great day this has been. Okay, this is precarious right now. Gotta make sure I don't drop it. There we go. There's the touch mark. And now I'm just gonna do a little finishing work. I'm going to make sure my mic is untangled. I'm gonna grip it in a pair of tongs and we're gonna wire brush this. So guys, I wanna hear what you want me to make next week. I want all your suggestions. I want the power of the, how many of you guys are on YouTube right now? 64 of you guys watching on YouTube. Love you guys. That is freaking awesome. 76 on Facebook. Good Lord, that is incredible. With the combined power of you wonderful people clearly interested in forging, and clearly, I hope, fingers crossed, you've enjoyed this if you've made it this far. What do you want me to make next week? I'm going to be here every week. Of course, if you don't catch the stream, you can always see it after the fact. You won't be able to contribute, sadly, and share the comments, but you'll always be able to watch it after the fact on my YouTube channel or on my Facebook page. And I want to know what you want me to make next week. Let me know in the comments. Next week's going to be a fun one, no matter it is, whatever we make, because it's always fun. And next week, I'm going to have some t-shirts to give away. I would say most definitely it's still relatively in the hands of the t-shirt printers. But I would say definitely their turnaround time, they said, was 7 to 10 days, and we're right at about 7 days now since I made that order. And I think that you guys are going to love the t-shirts, because I'm pretty thrilled with how that kind of design kind of came out.
People on YouTube next week are asking for pattern welding.
Pattern welding next week. You guys are demanding. I'll have to have a think about it. What do you want to see me make out of Damascus, or do you just want to see me make the Damascus? How exciting, right? So right now I could go ahead and grab an oily rag. Oh, we have one over the chop saw? Let me run and get that. Okay. Run through here. A left-handed hammer? Oh, God, yeah, I can make a left-handed hammer.
Yeah, that's quiet, eh?
I can make a left-handed hammer. It's very simple. You take this hammer and you flip it over, and then you hold it in this hand, and then you got yourself a left-handed hammer. Okay. Getting a little bit cool. when it's a little cooler than this, I probably opt for another method than this. Sam, could you do me the greatest of favors real quick, since I'm hooked in here? On the forge over there should be a pot of oil, or perhaps by the buffer. Oh, the linseed would be great. That'd be just as good. Thank you so much. Right, guys. Am I hearing suggestions? Do you guys have suggestions about what to make next week? Oh my goodness. Oh, great to see you guys. Three-legged candle holder, Damascus. God, I'm glad to hear that somebody here in YouTube, Astaroth Septimus, prefers YouTube for the live. That's awesome. This is awesome, guys. Okay, so I got a linseed oil here. I'm going to go ahead and quickly throw a finish on so we've got something that's presentable. I was talking about finishes a little earlier. Sometimes I'll leave it as is, you know, especially if it's just a tool for myself. However, if I want to make it look a little bit more presentable, I can go ahead and apply an oily finish. Here I'm just using boiled linseed oil, applied relatively warm enough that just burnt me. Have you guys shared this with your friends? Man, I'd be so upset if you hadn't. Oh, wow. What fun this has been, guys. We're coming to a close on this as I quickly rush the last strokes of oil on this. And I'm so excited to show you a close-up of this. Wonderful.
Hinges.
Hinges, that's an interesting idea. That's a great idea. Okay, let me see if, you know what? Do we have any of those screws left over?
The little ones?
The little ones?
No.
We don't.
Got,
how can I best show this? You know what? Let me go ahead and take down the famous saw blade. Ah! Set that up right here. Oh, needs a little twisting. Little fine tune. See how she sits? Okay, it's gonna be just fine when she's screwed to the wall. Okay, there we go, guys. Oh no, it needs another little tweak here. I'm gonna go ahead and make one more tweak here. Okay. One more tweak right there. Oh, there goes my can of water. Sorry, guys. Okay. Okie dokie. Where do I want to go with this? Right there. Nice. That needs to go down a touch right there. Ooh. I always hate the fiddling part of forging. Sadly, it's somewhat necessary, you know. Again, off the cuff stuff. Difficult to really get it all precise and such when you're just kind of blaring through it. Okay, that's made a pretty big difference there. However, if I go ahead and give that a few light taps, a few more light taps, I should clarify. I apologize, you might want to turn down your sound. One over there. Okay. Great. So now we've just got to imagine that that is this way up. My tongs are in the way. Okay, almost lost my toes. Got to imagine that that is this way up. Should Should we zoom in on this one right here, Sam? Sweet. Awesome. And there we go. Now I've got to put this all back down.
Hang on, I didn't see it. I didn't get trust.
Oh, you didn't get it across? Well, that's all right. Here we go. Where's the lighter? Got it. It sure is handy that fan is. Okay, I'm going to grip it in another place. Another pair of tongs. No. Let's light it again. Almost there, guys. Guys, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. It means the world to me to know that there are so many people interested in blacksmithing all around the world. There we go. See if I can hold it upright for you. Which way? It's upright. There we go. Guys, I want to thank you all so much for being here. What an exciting adventure it has been to make this little impromptu candle holder. I'm going to go ahead and blow that off. It's been wonderful. It's been a huge amount of fun. I want to thank every single one of you that has commented. I love this. I've got to say, I'm wholeheartedly addicted to doing these live streams. It's so wonderful to do this interaction, be able to speak with you, communicate with you, and I can assure you that right now, I just want to turn the forge back on and keep going and keep going and keep going. But I know you guys are busy people. You guys have a lot of things to do.
Someone said about make some simplified tom making videos for idiots like me.
It's a great idea. It's a great idea. Guys, you know, I wish I could stay long, but I'm sure you guys have things to do. What I can assure you, however, is I'm going to be here next week, Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, just like the week after and the week after. And I'm going to come up, hopefully, with your wonderful suggestions in the comments below. I'm going to come up with some interesting ideas for projects. And I can't wait to share them with you. I can't wait to have you here. This is just freaking awesome. I wish I could go on and on and on and on and on. For now, however, I want to remind you, if you want to learn more about blacksmithing, you know, here in my workshop, I do teach classes. I'm here in Norwich, in the United Kingdom, and I have an online school where you can learn a lot of the techniques in a lot more detail. That is at beginblacksmithing.com. You can find all that stuff just by going ahead and Googling me, Alex Steele. Thank you guys so much for being here. It means the world to me. I can't wait to see you next week. I wish I could share with you how grateful I am. Thank you. Have a lovely, lovely evening. Let's thank Sam too. He's been such incredible help. Please wave at the camera, Sam. Thank you, Sam. I really appreciate it. Guys, have a lovely day. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.